Yeah, just chilling, getting over a hangover from last night. I was at a birthday party, so that was a
Oh,
late one.
brutal,
few
brutal.
too, few too many shots last night, but
So I'll have
here we are.
to talk a little quieter. Yeah. Well, Tim, hey, it's awesome to talk to you, bro. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Oh, thanks for taking time out of your Sunday to do it. I appreciate it.
And thank you for taking time out of the hangover for doing it too.
Absolutely, man.
I
Absolutely.
get that. I get that. But mate, you're coming back down to Australia this time with your mate Static X. And man, it's gonna be huge. Like everyone's so excited. How are you feeling about, catching up with those dudes and of course coming down here and seeing us?
I mean, it's just bittersweet all the way around. I mean, we love the Static X guys. They've been super good friends of ours since 2001.
Mm.
And Australia, it'll be our third time back down under, so we're really looking forward to coming back. The last time we were there was Soundwave in 2013. So it's been a while since we've been there, 10 years. So we're getting really excited about coming back.
That's right.
Or 2014, so it's been 9 years. So
What was the time before that? I'm trying to think. There was one you came out with Dope, right?
yeah, it was dope. Yeah, it was dope
Dope
and
and Soil.
soil. That was 2010 December. And then we did Soundwave, which was I think it was what, February or March of 2014, and now we're coming back again in May of this year. So it's exciting. We've been wanting to come back for quite some time. So having the opportunity to come back, and then not only come back with some really good friends of ours, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's so keen. It's been a little while between drinks. Well, not for you, but for us. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be so good. And, of course, you've toured a lot with those Static X dudes. Would you say you've hit the road with those guys the most out of any other band?
Between them and Seven Dust are probably the two
Mm.
bands that we've hit the road with the most. Static X back in the early days, we did a ton of touring with, and then Seven Dust we did like right in the middle of our career a lot of touring with. So those are probably the two bands that we've played the most shows with and done the most tours with.
Man, that's awesome. Of course, what makes those guys really good touring mates? The Static X
Well,
guys.
they're
What is it?
well, I mean, first of all, you know, me personally and the rest of the guys were huge fans of their music. So not only do we get to see a great show every night and listen to music that we love, but they're people that are exactly like us, just down to earth. We joke around, we have a good time. In fact, in 2019, before the pandemic hit, we did a full UK and European tour together,
Yeah.
and we actually shared a bus on that one. And we just the whole time all we did was just laugh and make jokes and have a good time. So it's like we get along with those guys because they're basically the same goofballs that we are. So it makes for a great pair up.
Funny that metal bands can get up there and play and be really, and then off stage, everyone it's like a big party and everyone's just really silly. I find when
Oh,
you hit the road,
absolutely.
like everyone's not mean and nasty all the time.
Probably a memory that comes up from that is we were on tour with this band Mushroomhead,
Ah, yes.
and our tour bus was parked out in front of the venue, and there's a huge line of people waiting to get in, and our bus was like right in front of the door, so everybody's like jumping up trying to look through the windows to kind of see what we're doing. People probably were thinking that there's you know naked girls all around, people drinking, craziness going. We were all sitting around watching a Disney movie called Over the Hedge. These big badass rock and roll dudes that are, like you said, coming up and slamming down and jumping up and having pits going. We're watching Disney movies on the bus. I looked at the guys. I'm like, if they could see what we're doing right now, they'd probably turn the thing over and burn it to the ground or something.
Hey, but that's a good movie, that one.
It
That
is.
yeah,
It
I'm
is.
not gonna lie. Was it Bruce Willis and that other guy? It's the one with the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
turtle and the fox. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, it's a good
So
one. Yeah, it's
see,
heavy.
you've seen it, and you're a big bad metal dude. So
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, surrounded by action figures. But we are the nerdiest, aren't we? Like the metal community are also the nerdiest. But
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
the best. It's the best. But of course, the Static X guys are out there, paying tribute to Wayne every night. And I only saw him play with them once, and it was just incredible. And I love that what they're doing with Zero. And as a longtime friend of those guys, I'm sure it was difficult for you guys when he passed away. How did you find that you all supported each other through that loss with Wayne together?
Well, it was a little bit odd at the time because Static X had broken up, and Wayne was off doing uh, his version of Static X and his solo stuff. So the band wasn't a band anymore when he actually passed away. But I still remember the exact moment when he passed away because we were on tour in Europe,
Mm.
uh, and we got the call. And it's really hard to, back when he died, it was hard to get in touch with anybody because it's not like it is today where cell phones have worldwide plans and you just pick it up and talk like you're on your normal thing. So we didn't get a lot of information. We were just wondering what happened and this and that. So I called up Tony when I got a chance to because me and him are the closest,
Mm.
and he was torn up about it. We were all torn up about it. It was kind of unfortunate that they didn't get a chance to reunite before Wayne passed away because they had a lot of mending to do friendship wise that kind of drove a wedge in between them over the years. But uh, I know in my heart that they all still cared for each other and things like that. So that was a kind of a tough pill to swallow. But when they reformed this, with Zero and the way they went about it, I have to say that it's the single handed best thing I've ever seen as far as a band reforming with a member that's passed away. I've never seen it done so
Mm.
tastefully. I've never
Yeah.
seen it done so creatively. I've never seen it done so, I mean, every single piece of what they've done to bring back Static X has been like picture perfect by the book. And it's just like, I look at, some of the things that some other like reunions that are going where people have passed away or things like that. And some of them make you cringe. Some of them are just like, oh, it's just not the same. With this, you're getting a tribute to Wayne. You're getting a great live show, which is out of this world. A great tribute to the band, to where they're not just bringing in a singer that's got a face and all that. They're using it as a character, which
That's right.
Static X had way back in the day. I mean, I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million more. The way they're doing it is so perfect, so respectful, so entertaining that it's by the numbers the most amazing like reunion type thing that I've ever seen with a member that's no longer, with us.
Mate, I totally agree. I'm 100% for it. And I love that character. I love the character of Zero. I love, especially the new, the cyborg version that they've upgraded. Man, it's gonna
I
see
don't know how he's going to be able to see like the frets on the guitar and stuff with those
lasers.
robotic eyes and stuff. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
I it, the older I get, the tougher it is just to see normally, let alone if I had like these glow in the dark, like laser eyes
Yeah.
going on. So, uh, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see it because when we did the tour with them, it was the original mask, the
Yes.
first version. I haven't seen them yet with the robotic one, but they are playing Chicago next week, so I'm gonna go say hi to them before we hit Australia and go see that stage show. So it should be pretty cool. I'll
That's
get a little sneak peek of it before we get to the land down under.
so exciting, dude. It's so cool. And of course, I mean, last year you released the album Play It Forward. It's got some like incredible covers on here, like Tom Petty and White Zombie and Foo Fighters, Ramones, and was it Neil Young and even Helmet. Man,
Yeah, and prong too.
wrong. Of course. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Snap your fingers. Man. Oh, dude. It's so good. Of course, is it a good representation of the band's individual influences all coming together, would you say?
very much so. And the thing with that is, we got the offer to do two records at once. One being a covers record and one being an originals record, and 22 songs. And we recorded them all in like one block of time. We took 2 months in the studio to go and record them. And I'll never do that again in my entire life. I mean, it was brutal, recording 22 songs and having to like craft and care about those, and then learning those covers. We learned the covers, but we played them in our tuning, which is A sharp, and then we kind of took a little spin on them to kind of make them, you know, a little SOiL-esque as well. And you don't realize all the parts that some of these songs have. It's
Yeah.
like we thought that Thunder Kiss 65, because Rob Zombie and our singer Ryan have a very similar voice. We've always loved that song, you know, growing up and everything. But we thought that was going to be like, oh, we'll just be able to bang this one out real quick, because it's just like we thought. You know, when you listen to it and you hear it, it's like you only hear really two riffs in that whole thing. But when you start dissecting that song, there's whistles going off and engines and roaring, and under each chorus there's a solo, and it's a different solo each time. So our guitar player Adam, I walk in, you know, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You've been in the control room for 6 hours. Can we move on to something else? I'm trying to figure out these freaking solos. It's like it's a different one for everything, and I'm trying to make it interesting and trying to make it somewhat like the original song. And it was just like, and then there was other songs that we thought were going to be hard, you know, a little bit more difficult, that we just blazed through. Like the Helmet song, we were like, you know, with all like the real push and pull stops and things that it has, we're like, oh boy, this one's going to be a challenge. But we just went in, just that one just was a smooth sailor. So it was really fun and interesting the way we went about doing that. Because what we did is we're like, instead, let's everybody come together with a list of songs that would not only that are not only like influential to us, but that something that we could list, that we could hear SOiL pull off with Ryan's vocals, you know. So we said, if there's any that are unanimous, that those will go. If there's any that are three, you know, three ways, you know, those will go. If there's any that are doubled up, those are going. If there's any single ones, then we'll have to kind of fight over them. So most of the record, a lot of it was unanimous. And then there were some where, you know, three of us had voted and stuff. And this was, you know, we didn't consult each other before doing it. We just kind of let everybody put their thing down. And it was really unique how it came about. So we were kind of concerned because we're not a covers band, and we've only done 2 covers before in the entire SOiL career. So we didn't know quite how it would turn out. But the way it turned out and the way we went about it, I think really worked well. And the fans just ate it up and loved it. We were kind of like, we're going to put this out and people are either going to be like, oh, this completely sucks, or we're going to put it out and people are going to be like, wow, this is really cool. And it's something neat, you know, that the band's doing. And it turned out, you know, in our benefit to be the latter, you know, that people really embraced it and liked it. And I mean, people were like blown away by like, oh my God, what made you cover Helmet and Prong? And, you know, kind of obscure. They're obscure bands, but they're really popular bands too, that, you know, you wouldn't quite think a band like us would want to cover, but those were some of our top choices. And I think they turned out really good.
Absolutely. What was your pick?
The ones that I picked that made it were, I picked Prong, Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck. I picked the Ramones, I Want to Be Sedated. I picked Rockin' in the Free World by Neil Young, and I picked the Motorhead song, and I picked the Foo Fighters song. So out of the 11 songs, 5 of them were ones that I had picked, and some of the other guys, you know, doubled up on those, but those are the ones that I actually came up with. Oh, and Thunder Kiss 65. So yeah, I lucked out and got 6 of my picks on there.
You want till there.
I mean, granted, like I said, you know, the other guys, a lot of them voted for the same ones and picked the same ones. So I can't pat myself too much on the back for that. But I was pretty lucky. Half the songs I picked kind of got on there, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What about this other album? What's
that one? We're kind of keeping it a little bit of a secret because we don't have a specific release date yet for it. We kind of want to wait until what we're doing now is we decided to do a tribute to our Scars record, because we've never played. You know how all these bands, you know, they have a record that turns 15 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, or whatever, and they play the album front to back or however they do it. We've never done anything like that, and the Scars record is a very special record to us. So we decided to, moving forward with the touring we're going to start doing, is just playing all songs off the Scars record. So we're kind of figuring out when to release this other record we have recorded and ready to go. kind of coincide with that, yet still be able to promote it properly. So I'm kind of lip sealed for the time being on it, but we're
All
thinking
right,
about putting it out. It's going to come out this fall, so uh, that's the plan for it. And once we have a set release date, we'll kind of let the cat out of the bag and let everybody know. But it's all SOiL material that's coming out. No covers or nothing like that. So
has it got a name?
uh, we're gonna. I can't say
Ah,
that yet either. You almost got me. You almost got me.
almost. Oh, you.
My wet brain from drinking all those shots last night almost got me. But all in good time, I swear. I
I know.
promise. I
I'm
promise.
sorry. I had to throw that in. I would have edited it out. It's just, see if you're on your toes. Oh man. But of course, another thing I wanted to ask you about is you have an anniversary coming up, which is the band's going to be 25 years last year, wasn't it? Or no,
26. It just turned this
26.
January. Yeah,
Wow, dude. Like,
I know.
that's such an incredible thing.
I
Like,
mean, I never thought the band would last 5 years, let alone 26. It's just when you're in a band that lasts that long and you see grandkids of your original fans coming to shows, that's kind of like a wow factor. It either says we've been around way too long, or it's kind of like it's kind of like a rite of passage because you know 15 years ago we had kids of our original fans coming to shows. Now we've got grandkids of our original fans coming to shows. So we've been able to span basically 3 decades of fans, and it's crazy to see these 16, 17-year-old kids at a show going, yeah, my grandmother got me into this or something like that. It's just like, oh my Lord.
I'm a
Uh,
grandpa.
oh really? Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
for real, dude. Yeah. So, I
You
know.
don't look that old.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Action figures. But yeah, it is a crazy thing, man. But obviously, you've been doing this so long, you've seen all the blood, sweat, and the beers and seen it all. And as the great prophet Bon Scott once said, if you want to be a star of the stage and screen, look out, it's rough and mean. Now, how true is that for you and your experiences, in the industry over the years, for almost 3 decades? Like what have you learnt from that?
I mean, it's been such an up and down type thing. I mean, we've always we were lucky enough to, have a really big hit single with the song Halo.
Mm.
And we had a few other singles that were hit singles. I mean, not as quite as big as Halo. That's like our like one of those songs that's like a one in a million type thing. If a band can get a song like that that's kind of timeless and one that everybody knows. And there's other bands like Motley Crue and Aerosmith that have had numerous ones of those that have struck lightning in a bottle 15 times over. We got to once, and we're still able. That song single handedly has probably carried us through more tough times than you can possibly imagine. But we've had other songs that have done really well, and I really attest it to the fan base, because there's one thing about SOiL fans is they're very loyal. They're very thick-headed and they're very loyal, and that's the whole reason we're still able to do it, because they keep coming to these shows and they're turning their kids and grandkids at this point on to us and stuff. And I feel that we've been very loyal to the fans as well. We never broke up. We've had some lineup changes here and there and things, and getting back together with Ryan 12 years ago at this point. I mean, it's weird. He's been back in the band longer than he was in the band in the first place, because he was in the band 7 years before he left the first time, and now when he came back, he's been in the band. This is the 12th year, so getting him back really kind of had us come full circle onto what the original vision of SOiL was and things like that. But we've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of great times, some bad ones. But the thing is you know you stay true to what you do, and if you keep your head up and you don't you don't keep a if you keep a level head, and you don't have that, oh well, when you're in your down times, oh well, we better be playing this type of thing, or we better have a bus or something like that. I mean, we've we've never been that type of band. We're like, you know what? All right, we're at a low point. Let's hop in a van. Let's rebuild this, you know. And over the, you know, late in recent years and stuff, we've been really lucky because, you know, we've reached that point to where, you know, everything's good. We still get offered to do the big festivals. We still have a great draw, and you know, we've gotten over all the humps and the growing pains of the band. So it's kind of all gravy from this point on. You know, we can pick and choose what we do. If we want to release music, we can release it. If we don't want to tour, we don't have to. If we want to, you know, just do big festivals and some spot dates around it or things, we have that luxury to do that now, to where when you're starting out, you can't. You got to get in the trenches and you got to go out for, you know, 8-9 months out of the year. So we're in our golden years now, I guess you could say.
And of course, I did want to ask you about another project that you have, Embryonic Autopsy.
Yeah.
Brutal death metal.
And the funny thing about that, again, with the full circle thing, is me, our guitar player Adam, and our original drummer were in a death metal band called Oppressor, and the black metal scene had come out, and especially the Norwegian black metal. And for us, death metal was always about, you know, going up in, you know, regular clothes, playing, you know, really about musicianship. It was about the feeling that you get from listening to that music, letting angst out, things like that. And when the black metal scene came about and they were all dressed up like rejects from Kiss auditions, and the music was lo-fi and just sounded like utter crap, we were just like, and it became so popular, it was taking over death metal.
Yeah.
And we were just like, well, we're not going to put corpse paint on and stuff. So let's go really back to our roots, and let's form a little side project to let our angst about black metal out, and let's play stuff that sounds like, you know, from early and through. It's like COC, Motorhead, early Metallica,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And that's what we started doing. That's how SOiL was born. And then I was the singer of Oppressor, and you know, I wasn't like a singer. You know, death metal is growling with a little bit of inflection and stuff. It's more of an instrument. So I'm like, well, we got to find a singer, because I'm not somebody that can hit all these notes and ranges and stuff like that. So I found Ryan and wrote him a letter, because I didn't even have his email address. I wrote him a letter. That's how I got in touch with him. And the SOiL just kept building and kind of overshadowed what we were doing in Oppressor. So we kind of broke up Oppressor, went with SOiL, been doing that. And a buddy of mine, Scott, came to me and said, I've got all these death metal songs I've been working on. Would you be interested in dusting off those pipes and singing on this stuff? And I thought we were just going to do it for fun. We were literally, you know, he was on the road with us with SOiL. So like on days off, we'd get our own hotel room, and I'd track some vocals in the bathroom at the hotel, or, you know, or whatever. We just kind of put it together, but it was fun doing it, and it was from the heart. And I started sending it around. And next thing you know, like old death metal friends of mine, like James Murphy and Terrence from Suffocation and Doc Coyle from God Forbid, who's in Bad Wolves now,
Yep.
started putting solos on it. I'm like, wow, this thing's getting a little real. So I'm like, well, let's send it off to a couple labels, see if anybody bites. And we had a couple offers, and we got this really great offer from Massacre Records in Europe, who there is a really well-known death metal label. And then all of a sudden we started getting offered these shows offers to go open for Soulfly and the Cavalera Brothers. And then we're going on a tour with Pyrexia, an old school death metal band, next month. And it kind of took over a life of its own. And, you know, naturally I'm not letting it interfere with SOiL at all. SOiL's the mothership, the bread and butter thing. But, you know, in between stuff, I'm kind of having fun with this. And it's fun to see how people are reacting towards it, and reacting towards me singing after 2 decades of not, because Oppressor was an early 90s band. And I'll tell you, the best thing about it is all I do is carry a microphone around. It's the greatest thing on the planet. I don't have to move an amp. I don't have to carry a bass. I don't have to worry about my wireless. I don't have to worry about strings, nothing. I literally have a Shure 58 microphone that I throw in my bag, and it's like I'm like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing on earth. I think that's what I'm enjoying the most out of it. as I just have
Man,
to carry a microphone.
I
But
get
yeah,
it.
it's fun.
Man,
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds so brutal, dude. Like your voice is so fucking good.
oh, thank you. I It's funny to see like some of the SOiL fans embrace it. And I it's even more crazy to see how many oppressor fans there still are from a band that has been broken up for 20 years coming out and going, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for you to do something in death metal again." And I never left death metal. I mean, I would during the whole time we had SOiL, I would go to Napalm Death concerts. If Obituary came through town, I'd
Yeah.
go see them. And we knew the Cannibal Corpse guys because we toured with them. So, I'd go, backstage and hang out with them and have Alex Webster, who's like a huge Ozzy fan, grilling me. What was it like touring with Ozzy? What was it like touring with Ozzy? And like, oh, telling them stories and stuff. So I kept in touch with all my death metal buds and still, embrace that sort of music. So it never left me, even though I was doing, more rock stuff. So to be able to come back to it all these years later and it actually get embraced and kind of take on a life of its own, it's been pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. That album, Prophecies of the Conjoined, man, it's fucking so good.
Oh,
Like,
thank you.
dude, it's a really, really good death metal album, man. And I'd really like to see you down here, hopefully, at one point. You know,
I would love to. I mean, Australia is one of my favorite places in the world. And literally, if we could go there every year, I'd be there in one way, shape, or form. I don't care if it would be me playing ukulele. I'd go down there playing. I love your country and everything about it. Everybody's so nice. Everybody's so friendly. Everybody, you guys really treat people great and treat musicians great when they're there and stuff. It's one of my favorite places to go. I wish it wasn't so far away and we could go more often than we do. But we're so stoked to be coming down there in May. I mean, it's less than 2 months away. We're getting close. So
I know, right? It's like just around the corner. Like,
yeah, it's
man,
coming up. We got to book our flights. I better call our travel agent and get some stuff going here. That reminds me, we got to book some flights here.
oh yeah, it's a day you're like something I'm meant to do. Oh shit, Australia. But but
It's a
man,
22 hour flight from Chicago. So
dude, right down to the arse end of the world. And all just
yeah, but
get to a point that flips.
well, like I said, like you said, you're a day ahead of us. So there you go.
Time travel. Yeah.
There you go. Well, the funny thing when when we go there, we lose a day. Like a day just evaporates, and then when we come back the same day that we left. So it's a bit of a mind trip when you think about it. But
It is weird.
I'm bringing a lot of sleeping pills with me for the plane. I'll tell you that much.
Well,
gotta
over
gotta
the
renew that. Got to renew that Ambien prescription to get to Australia.
or over the hedge on loop. But
Yep,
yeah.
exactly. Probably get beat up on the plane for that one.
Man, at least it's not Bluey. All the Bluey's all over the world right now. Like that's where the kids are into. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, my niece is all into
she's starting to talk like an Aussie now.
that. She does a pretty good accent. She's it's like kids today. I mean, she's like when I was her age, she's 6. When I was her age, I was like pounding nails into a 2x4 with a hammer that my dad gave me. She's sitting there figuring out math problems, learning 3 different languages, playing with the iPads. I'm like, my gosh, these kids today are just like they're like mini geniuses with all the technology and stuff that they have. I'm like, yeah, we were shooting BB guns and bow and arrows at each other, and here they're figuring out the world's problems at 6 years old. Yeah,
You can't do that anymore. But
I know.
yeah, it's a whole other kettle of fish, that one. But of course, I mean, we'll wrap things up. I've kept you for a while. Sorry, brother. I'm enjoying our chat this morning on a Sunday morning.
You're my only interview today. I can talk as long as you need. So.
Oh man, I know, but you probably want to have a nap. But I don't blame you. But I did want to ask you though. Of course, the news just came out that Ryan has rejoined Drowning Pool, right?
Yeah.
How does that balance things out with SOiL?
Well, it's let me just first start by saying there's absolutely no like weirdness about it whatsoever. Uh, when we found out about it, I mean, it literally came together really like really fast. It wasn't like some conspiracy in the works or anything like that. It's, their latest singer, Jason, had run his course, and uh, they wanted to separate, and they were literally going to either become a three piece or figure out what to do. And then they're like, well, what if we asked Ryan to come back? Because naturally Dave's gone. Their second singer they didn't get along with, and then Ryan and them had their issues, but they patched them up over the years. It's been 12 years. So Ryan came to me and Adam and said, hey, SOiL doesn't tours a ton, and Drowning Pool doesn't tour a ton, but I still want to stay on tour. I want to tour a lot because I have my record label with my business partner. I have Pavement Entertainment. I have a management company. Adam owns his own office furniture installation company. Ryan, God bless his soul, is just 100% musician. So, SOiL, we still do, but we don't do it like we used to. It's not a constant go, go, go type thing. So, Ryan has bills to pay, things to do. And the thing is Drowning Pool is basically doing the same thing as SOiL. They all have other interests that they do. So between the two bands, we basically equal like one full-time touring band. So for Ryan, who just wants to get out there and work and sing and stay active, it seemed like an okay, thing. He had already been in that band for 2 records. He's with us. Nobody was trying to steal anybody from anybody. So we're like, okay, as long as we can keep our schedules in tow and, keep a good line of communication between the two bands, and Ryan wants to stay active and stay on the road all the time, well, then power be, let's do it. And, with initially the first time Ryan left, there was some, a little tension and some bad blood between us and Drowning Pool. I mean, that's no secret, but, as you get older and you live and you learn, and I mean, we patched up our problems with them years and years ago. And, I just was in New Orleans on a vacation, and Drowning Pool was in town playing. I went to the show and hung out with the guys and had a few beers and talked and laughed over old times and stuff. So it's all good, if it was the other way, if it was a different situation, like our guitar player Adam or something, wanted to tour in 2 bands or whatever, then we'd tell him to do it too. It's like SOiL doesn't work a ton and Drowning Pool doesn't work a ton, so it worked out to where he will be able to do both, and with very little conflict between the 2 bands. And if there is any, we're adults now. Like I said, we've been going for 26 years. Instead of, as Nikki Sixx once said, instead of throwing a bottle of Jack Daniels at each other's heads, we sit down and talk about things now. So, we're mature adults, and, we'll just, we'll figure it out. So it's all good, and, we talked to the Drowning Pool guys about it. We talked to Ryan, we talked to everybody involved about it, and, all good vibes, so it's going to be a decent thing. I'm not worried about it.
That's awesome, man.
And if something does happen, we'll talk about it and we'll figure it out. Or who knows? It's life. Anything can happen. But for now, all the vibes are good. Everything's great. Nothing's going to change with either band, and SOiL's going to still do what SOiL does and keep on doing it. And Ryan's going to be right there with us in tow, and we're going to do it to it. So,
man, future's bright, dude. Especially into this new album. You're gonna, can I have a sneaky little listen when you come down?
Yeah, I've got to. You know what? What show do you think you'll be at?
Brisbane, bro. I'll be there. Bells on.
Awesome. Let's figure out a way to hook up. I'll throw a set of headphones on you and play the album a little bit from the phone. I got it sitting right in my phone, so I'll give you a little sneak peek since I can't give you any other inside info over the air right now.
Hey man, I'd love that. I'd love that over a beer, and then I can listen to it. And I've got a bad memory, so I wouldn't be able to write about it, tell anybody.
There you go.
Secret safe.
That's the way mine's getting too. It's like I remember stuff from 20 years ago, like it happened yesterday. Like I could tell you any date of any tour we've done or what happened here or there, but I don't remember what I ate for breakfast today. So it's like my long-term memory's there, the short-term shot.
I know. I walk into a room and I go, what was I doing? Oh yeah. Just wander off.
Exactly. there's been times I've been like, where's my phone? Where is it? I'm looking all over for it and literally holding it in my hand. I'm like, have you ever done that one? That one's a real kicker.
Several times a
When
week. Or my glasses, I'll have my glasses here and I'll be like looking around. I go, oh yeah, this is
oh,
there.
I do the same thing with my glasses too. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Here's the
in
old
fact, okay, wait, they are on. Okay, I
yeah.
got mine on too, so we're good.
I love it. I love it. Hey man, it's been really cool hanging with you this morning. Thanks so much for
Oh,
taking the time.
oh, absolutely, and thanks for the interview. I really appreciate it. We're so excited to be coming back there. I can't even words don't even express, the excitement, especially my excitement, because I just love it there. So uh, I'm going to hold you to that promise of sharing of getting a couple of beers down in Brisbane, and I'll let you hear a little sneak peek of the new stuff.
Let's go. Hey man, send me an email or something. I don't know. Are you on the socials and
Yeah, I'm on everything. So
cool.
shoot me a friend request, and we'll be messenger buddies.
Yeah, let's do that. Get down some
Perfect.
death metal. Yeah, I love it. Hey man, but in the meantime, we'll have all the links down here to the Static X SOiL tour, all the tour dates on there and the website. Brother, you take care. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And
And you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
yeah, well, thanks, bro.
Stop working.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go mow the lawn. But yeah. Good
Perfect.
times. Good times. All right, man. I'll see you soon, eh?
Take care, buddy. Thanks again.
Thanks, man.
We'll see
All
you
right.
soon.